Hello and welcome to the Jam Spot podcast. I'm Henry.
And I'm Phil.
And today we have Jaz Ellington, and this is a truly interesting pod where we talk about meetings with famous people, some really funny stories, as well as some really, really profound experiences and some really important stuff I feel that people would learn a lot from. As usual, you can catch us on socials at the Jam Spot Pod. That's, your... What we got? Instagram, TikTok now. Yeah, we're down with the kids. And please hit the like and subscribe button, because then we can do more of these. We can get more people in. We can continue to have the fun that we've been having recently. So, yeah, I think that's all it is, isn't it?
Here we go.
Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jam Spot podcast.
Hola.
How are we today? You good, Henry?
Yeah, not bad. Can't complain.
Yeah,
Life is good. Not much sleep, but it's busy at the moment, isn't it?
It's getting up to the festive season, isn't it? So
It's been
Christmas
it's been
gigs start kicking off and getting a bit lively.
You've been doing some nice ones, haven't you, in the markets and stuff?
Yeah, quite a few uptown. It's quite nice.
That's
Get
right.
a bit festive up there, which is all good. Yeah. So today we've got the one and only Jaz Ellington.
Welcome
to the
Thank
Jam
you for
Spot.
having me, guys. Thank you.
You're looking fresh as ever, mate. I've got to say.
you look great, mate. It's suave.
I tried to transform this morning.
It's great to have you here, mate. So I'm just going to read through a few things that I know about you, doing my research, as all good journalists do. I'm definitely not a journalist. I'm definitely not a journalist. Just going through some of the things I found out. So you went to the Brit School, which I didn't know about.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Was that quiet?
Man, Brit School was cool because I suppose you can start Brit School in year 10 and I started in year 12. So I finished secondary school, then I went, and it was a cultural shock. There's films like Camp Rock and High School Musical and stuff. Imagine... Yeah. You used to watch those films and you see everybody in the hallway writing songs and with the guitars out and stuff like that, and everyone's writing a song or doing something creative. Yeah, that's exactly how it was when I went. It was really, really cool, to the point bordering like I'm shocked. I've never seen this in the flesh before. So, definitely the breeding ground of creativity. Absolutely.
And how long was you there for?
I did 2 years. So year 12, year 13, then I was out. You can do 5. There was a year 14, but it's a business course. I didn't get in.
You didn't get in.
So I was out. Get out of here.
Fair enough. And then in 2012, you was on The Voice.
Yes, I was.
Which I imagine is probably not The Voice that we know now. Was that quite sort of early days, The Voice, then? It only just kind of started? Or?
It was the first UK season.
Oh, wow, okay.
The very, very first UK season. And it was amazing. It was life-changing, actually, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what way did it just sort of open a few doors for you? Because you went quite far. Was it semis? Yeah, semi-finals. It changed everything for me, because up until then I was teaching, and I'd been teaching solidly for, I want to say 12, 13 years in schools, teaching, running choirs and workshops and stuff like that. So when I went onto the show, there was a big explosion, and it allowed me to just work solely in music. Right. Just doing my music, being an artist, which is something I always wanted to do first. Mm-hmm. I've loved teaching, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But 12, 13 years is great, Yeah.
Time to move on. You know what I mean? But it changed everything. It was just, my first job, like my go-to job, was just singing. So it was completely different. It was a new path to navigate. Do you know what I mean? And I wasn't ready for it, if I'm being honest.
Oh, really? Okay. What kind of way was it? Just the scale of the show, or was it like you'd not really sung like much in public, or what kind of way?
I think that I want to answer this question nicely and correctly. Yeah. I think that where I was at, when you do a show like that, there's a lot of things happening around you. There's a lot of, hi Jaz, can we work with you? Can we do this? Or Jaz, why aren't you doing that? And people have their own opinions, and then you start, if you don't know yourself that well, like I didn't know myself that well at the time, you start getting in your own head and stuff. So I mean, so and then also being prepared for what if it doesn't work out the way that you want it to work out. Do you know what I mean? Building certain secure things to make sure you can bring money home to your house, like bring money home. Do you know what I mean? And look after your family. The year that I did the show, I had my first boy. Yeah. He's now 11. Imagine that, he's 11. Oh. That's how long that show's been going.
Time flies, eh?
Yeah, man, time flies. Yeah. So yeah, just being ready for knowing what you want to do and standing on what you want to do. There's a lot of people that have really good intentions and they are soundboards even when you don't ask them to be. So, and that's their way for looking out for you. Do you know what I mean? So it was an interesting time. And so like, I remember it's gigging seasons and stuff like that. Running up here, going down here, doing this appearance, being here for a bit. And then it all dried up. And then I thought to myself, okay, what am I going to do now? What's next? And, all was while trying to navigate your artistry.
Yeah.
And that's what was happening. A lot of people were just focusing on the money aspect of it. When I came off the show, I was thrown into an artist management. And they put me on, I think it's I want to say CA. They're like an agency that just put you out, like they do a lot of personal appearances, be there, do that kind of thing. A lot of people that come off shows, they end up on there for a bit. And then once it's almost like when it's expiry, then you just disappear.
Right, gotcha, yeah. So
was it really that quick, the drop off?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man. It depends on how hot you are, to be honest. I believe that. I'd say that people that come off X Factor would be on there a lot longer than you'd be on there from The Voice. And that's no shade. That's just is what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense.
X Factor is definitely a stronger show.
Yeah.
So, then I just started to rebuild me and, see what Jazz, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you know what I mean? As opposed to just being flang in different corners and just doing what you're told and going whatever the way the river is flowing. Do you know what I mean? So to speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, I suppose if I would have thought of it at the time, I think I would have, had a bit more of a plan and stuff in place and stuff like that.
But I suppose on the show, did you sort of manage to build up a few relationships and stuff? Because the other thing I learned about you, which it must have come from a show, is that you worked with Will.i.am on a project for N.A.S.A.
Yeah.
Now that is
pretty nuts.
Yeah, what is that about?
Sometimes you just got to breathe that one in a little bit, like for N.A.S.A,
Yeah.
N.A.S.A. That's on your CRVs.
I want to say that was out of this world.
Sorry.
Oh, come on, mate. We're not that kind of podcast, man. So what was that about? What did you do?
Right, so on the show, I did a performance of Let It Be, and I had two choirs I was working with from different schools I was teaching with at the time come and join me on stage, which was beautiful. It was Southfields Community College and Oasis Hadley. And they came and did the song with me, They had a good time. We had a great time and stuff. And while we was in rehearsal for the show at the BBC studios, Will came over and was like, Jazz, can we get your choir involved in something? I'm working on something and I need a choir basically over here. And I was like, yeah, sure, amazing. Of course it's going to be yes. I said, yeah, I'll talk to the teachers and, we'll see what we can do and stuff. Now, if I'm being honest, you're Will,
Yeah.
I'm not expecting a follow-up, let's be honest. You know what I mean? You're busy, And then we finished. I think that was the day that I came off the show. I was knocked out. And he shouted to me and said, so, Jazz, so what are we saying? When you guys free? And I was like, oh, you're serious? So we ended up going to, I can't remember what studio it was actually. Metropolis Studios.
Oh yeah.
And it's only when we got there that I actually realized what the project was and what it was for. He said basically that N.A.S.A is doing this this big experiment where they're sending a probe to Mars, right?
Right.
And they're going to stream a song from Mars to Earth. And it was his song, and the song's called Reach for the Stars.
Oh, do you know, I think I remember this.
I think I remember this too.
Yeah.
Imagine, yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. What, planets, solar systems and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So told the kids about it. They were you know, crazy, like excited and stuff. We did it. Was really, really good. Kids did really well. A song came out and it happened. They streamed the song from Mars to Earth.
Wow.
Imagine that.
That's pretty crazy.
Right?
That's like an elite club right there.
Imagine that on a CV.
I mean, I don't know, but there can't be many.
I don't know if
tunes
it's
that have been
if it's
played.
ever happened.
Yeah, like
Since
has that happened since?
it's
That's
no.
pretty.
well, yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
It's like
That's cool.
like I sometimes think to myself, you've worked with N.A.S.A, Jazz.
yeah.
Let alone you've worked with Will. Like you worked with N.A.S.A.
That must have been good for the kids as well, wasn't it?
They loved it, man. A lot of them still to this day still talk about it because you know they got to take pictures and chill with a celebrity that they love and you know they follow. Will is amazing, isn't he? Like he's really crazy creative and you know very innovative. One of the craziest artists I know. Like, do you know what I mean? He's like a genius, like mad scientist. So.
Yeah, he does give off that vibe, doesn't he? Just like
Yeah, totally.
he almost comes across like you're not sure if he knows what he's doing, but you know he knows what he's doing.
Oh, he knows exactly what he's doing, man. He's in full control.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just got that kind of. There's certain people, isn't there? There's certain like, artists that come along every now and again, and obviously he's not just an artist; he does many different things too. But there's certain people that come along where they really are very distinctive, and you can never replace them. Yeah. I'm trying to think of any that spring to mind now. I mean, the one I would always refer to was someone like David Bowie. It was just unique in every way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you can't always quite put your finger on what it is about them that's so different, but there is, you know.
I think what it is, like for me, it's that angle. I mean, we spoke about this with Izzy on the last podcast, but it's when you're an artist, it's having the vision of every angle, not just like coming from the perspective of I'm a songwriter, I'm a singer. It's what I'm wearing, it's my visuals, it's what video I'm doing, it's sonically, what do I want this song to sound like? Is that going to fit in with what I look like?
Yeah.
It's literally look a bit like MJ or Prince. It's them people
particularly.
It's them people that just have like this vision of everything. It's like they see the whole picture,
whole 360 of the
whole 360 picture, and they know exactly what elements need to be dropped in.
100.
There.
Yep.
And I think that for me is what makes the greats stand out.
Yeah.
It's because they cover every aspect of that.
Agreed.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that makes sense. It's like the difference between a singer and an artist, right?
Yeah.
It's the whole package that comes within.
100.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. So then, after you've done the N.A.S.A thing, you then set up the House of Ellington. Is that right?
Yeah.
This is your main band now.
My baby, yeah, man. The House of Ellington. To be honest, it was always, before it was called the House of Ellington, it was always the house, really. That's how we always used to move as a house.
I love that as a name, though. Like, it's so like collective. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you're in the house, you're part of the family, kind of thing.
That's what it is. It's honestly a family affair. Like Alicia, I'll talk about Alicia. I've been singing with Alicia since we left Brit School.
Right.
She went Brits as well. There's another lady named Jenny I sing with, same Brit School. Kirsten, my wife, came after.
I was going to say, how does that? Because she's in the band now. So
yes, she is.
How does that work? How does the dynamic work with working with your missus?
She's going to see that. I'm playing. Honestly, right. So it's amazing. It's amazing. It's wonderful to be able to do something that you love doing with your partner. Definitely. We have a lot of fun together. The long drives we get to share. Thank God. It's tough sometimes.
Yeah.
It comes with its struggles. Do you know what I'm saying? Definitely. I mean, we're in the world of gigging and stuff, the stuff that we do, where we are almost out, especially in the gigging season. We're out most weekends and stuff, and there's a sacrifice of time with family, and that's tough, man. It's we spoke about it. It's a tough one sometimes, and we're in our. In our effect, we are both out. It's not one of us, it's both of us.
Yeah.
So that can get quite tough. And, I was saying to you, Phil, like, sometimes I can feel a bit guilty, like,
Yeah, we had this conversation over Instagram, I think I saw you put a post out, and you seemed, I think at the time you seemed quite low with it. Like
I was, man.
You had like a real kind of, I could see you just had like guilt written all over your face, and you were tired, and you'd been working. Like we'd never really spoken much before that. Like you said, I did one gig with you, and we kind of hung out for like 15, 20 minutes before the gig, and that's kind of it. But yeah, I saw that post of yours, and I could kind of really relate to it because I'm a dad as well, and I too have those days where, I mean, I'm sure every parent has it, where you just get those days where you just feel you can't really give anything, you know, because either you're just really exhausted from working, or you know, especially musicians where you're getting in late, you've done maybe a 200-mile drive the day before or the night before, man. And then you know, you get up early in the next day or whenever you get up, and you jump straight into that parent life.
Man's real.
And it's really difficult, you know. Obviously you're is it a little girl you've got?
I've got a boy, he is 11, and my little girl is 3.
Oh, right, so I didn't know he had 2. So I've got 2. Eldest is 3, the other one's just sort of coming up to 6 months.
Okay.
And that is difficult enough, but having like older kids where there's like a little bit more, because like when they're little, they maybe don't understand as much. But when they're older, and they maybe expect a little bit more from you.
100%.
And especially, so if you've got 2 parents out, I mean, I'm lucky enough where my wife stays at home and she's amazing like that. She'll take care of them. You know, if I need to stay in bed just that little couple of hours extra, like she will sort it out for me.
Yeah.
But if there's 2 of you that have been in the same boat,
man,
how do you work that?
It's tough. It's to be honest, like for example, me and my wife were Christians. We serve at church as well and stuff like that. I don't serve at the moment, but my wife is serving at church, so she's on the worship team and stuff like that. Right. So I remember there was times when I was serving that we would be like, we'll be out, let's say on average 2 times on the weekend, let's say Friday night and Saturday night. And then because we live in Ashford, Kent, and we just love the M20. If it's Operation Stack or if something crazy is going on, I would say 90% of the time there'll be a diversion when you're coming off stage at midnight.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes the signs are posted nicely so you can see it.
Yeah.
Other times you're driving around in circles going crazy, just trying not to go to sleep and stuff like that. And then we get home, I don't know, sometimes 2:30, going on 3 o'clock. Then you're wired and you need to kind of come down off of it. So then you end up getting into bed at 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then you got this tap on your shoulder and you see a little girl going saying, wake up, Elsa, wake up. You know? She loves Frozen, do you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's parent time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like we're both tired.
Yeah.
And then wifey's doing a 9 to 5 as well. And it's like, that is tough. So it's crazy because when when the gig season is in full effects, man, you know, it's go. Because the truth of the matter is, when the season's out, sometimes it's sparse. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you kind of just get on with it and do the best you can. Yeah. And as we like I was saying even on that Instagram post, I remember thinking to myself, man, this is really tough, you know, because I just started to feel bad. Like, you know, my son wants to play, you know, games with me, or you know, just do, you know, parent and child things. You know what I mean? And I'm just very, very tired,
exhausted. Yeah.
And I can't mentally get myself into that into that place. And then to add on to the fact that, you know, the serving that church thing, we'd get to, like I said, we'll sometimes get into bed at 3:30 in the morning, and then we'd have to get to church at 8 o'clock. Do you know what I mean? To do what we're doing. And that it was breaking us for a bit. It was like quite hard. And we had conversations of like, what if we pull back a bit? And I said to Kirsten, my wife's name's Kirsten, I said to her, babes, you need to, do you want to take a break or anything? She's like, she loves doing what she does. It's just, do you know what I mean? And to take a break from that, that's her dying inside, do you know what I mean? And I would be saying the same thing if it was me. So it's like, now, because I do work on cruises and stuff like that, and sometimes I'm just away, we've learned to be a bit more intentional with our time. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We're not just going to go out and do everything if there's something going on in the family. Sometimes it means missing out. Yeah. You know, FOMO has to get conquered.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
yeah, because you mentioned like you go on like the cruises and stuff.
Yeah.
And again, that's like big periods of time just away.
Yeah.
And in fact, I know you mentioned that. Is it next year? Early next year, you're doing is it a play or?
Yeah, man. I am. It's I'm going to be doing a musical. Bonnie and Clyde. It's my first time in a musical.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I am the preacher. Yes.
Wow, amazing.
This is amazing.
Fitting, very fitting. I'm terrified.
Are you really? Are you really?
I'm terrified. Like, it's always been a dream to do a musical. I've always wanted to do a musical. Like, growing up watching, especially like, musical films. Like, I am a big, let's call it what it is. I grew up on Doris Day. So like, like musical films and stuff like that. Calamity Jane, just to name one out of many. Do you know what I mean? I've always thought, what would it be like to, be in a musical and just, a singing role? So, I always found that musical songs are always well written. Do you know what I mean? They're quite epic and stuff. And so it's just a different side of creativity, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a different world, really, compared to what you...
This is a different challenge too.
Man, that's why I'm terrified. I'm like, whoa.
I think you'll be all right.
I hope so. No. Yeah, man, I've got a great agent, so we're gonna go for it and just get in there. But yeah, it will be my first musical.
I like the mentality as well. It's hard, isn't it, to put yourself in a position. I've had it recently too, where I've had to put myself in a position where I'm doing something that doesn't come naturally to me. Not necessarily that it doesn't come naturally to you, but in the sense of it isn't what I've been doing for the past 10 years or something. And suddenly it's a change. In my case, it's going to be pit work or something like that. And like, it's a bit nerve-wracking, but it's kind of admirable that you can put yourself in a position where you're like, you know what? No, I'm going to do this. I'm nervous, yeah, but I'm going to do this. How do you get around that? How do you put yourself in that and go, I'm going to go for it?
I always think, I ask myself that all the time, and I think to myself, maybe I'm just a little bit crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I always try to push myself. I try to, like, I have a night called The Right House. We haven't done anything in a while, but even to put on an event, like, it's always like, I've never done this before, just do it. I've never made clothes before, just do it. I've never done this before, just do it. And luckily enough, I'd say 90% of the time it comes together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just throw caution to the wind and just get on with it. Do you know what I mean? You live once and just do it. Do you know what I mean? Just do it. You don't want to grow into the older days and then think to yourself, oh, I wish I just gave that a go, and I wish I did that.
Totally
and,
agree.
Yeah.
So I don't speak from a place of, look at me, how wonderful I am, and I just do it. No, I am terrified. I am terrified all of the time. That's
You and
the
me
truth.
I think it's quite a common thing, isn't it, in music as well? I mean, in any creative thing, in sport, I know it's really common, but being terrified is kind of a good thing, I guess, in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah, pushing yourself out your comfort zone is definitely something that everyone should do, because otherwise you don't progress, because once you've done it once, you can go, actually, I got away with that one. Next time, I'll be better at it. And I'll do it, I'll do it better.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've always sort of tried to be of that mindset of like, just say yes. If something comes my way, I'd say yes, and I'll deal with the consequences after.
Yeah.
Just get through it. Just do everything you can to get through it, because that opportunity might not come again. Yeah. But if you do it and you do it half decent and you get by, that might come again.
You're only going to regret it if you don't do it.
Exactly.
If you do it and it doesn't quite come off, you just think, oh, well, it didn't quite happen, but at least I know now.
Yeah. 100.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a good mentality to have. But going back to, like, you just dropped that in there, but making your own clothes. That is not something everyone does. Yeah, like, where's that come from?
Oh my goodness, this is great. All right, I'm going to give you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. So, in year 7, when I was, I don't know what age, what's that? Well, my son's in year 7, so it's 11 years old. Yeah. They would, there was this class called textiles, and we were taught the basics. We all did it.
Yeah.
And we were taught the basics of the sewing machine use and stuff like that, all of us. And I was just really good at it. I don't know why, I was just really good at it. And
I remember stopping because of peer pressure. Like, oh, it's not cool to make clothes. It's not cool. You know, why are you playing football?
My school weren't allowed them in the end.
Was that?
They used to like lob them at each other.
Oh gosh, gosh. And I just left it there. And honestly, I forgot about it. And then lockdown hit, and where I had gigs with Gregory Porter and all sorts of things in the diary. It was going to be a nice, lucrative year. We was going to buy a house. You know what I mean? It was just like, yes, bring that year on. And then, you know, everything went and disappeared. And we were pregnant with my little girl. And we ain't got no money, you know? And I'll tell you the truth. Wifey's on statutory maternity pay. So there was literally nothing. And we were just like, well, how are we going to get clothes? How are we going to do that? Thank God we got really cool family and friends that were really supportive and stuff. There's a lady that in Camden called Josiah Amari. She got her shop's called Josiah Amari. She made these beautiful harems and stuff, and she was really, really inspiring. Do you know, in the stuff that she was doing and stuff. And I just thought to myself, I'm going to buy a sewing machine. And who buys a sewing machine when there's no money? Does that make sense? It doesn't. But you know, when you I try to follow my gut, not to be cliche about it. And I said to Kirsten, my wife, I said, listen, let's buy a sewing machine. She's like, yeah, let's do it. She wanted to make some bows and stuff. Bought the sewing machine, and I didn't expect what happened next to happen. It kind of took off a bit. Was just making clothes, and people were buying this clothes, man. We were getting a lot of orders from America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the kids' clothes were going as well. So the kids' side is called Marley James, named after my little girl. And the adult side is called Ellington James. And so we started making stuff for friends, you know, try that out for me, tell me what's wrong with it, you know, just to trial and error. It was a crazy investment. I don't know, don't ask me how we even got into it, because, you know, if there's no money, how did you get there? Like, you know, to buy the fabric and stuff.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? But anyway, we somehow got to that place, and then I made a pair of harems for, do you know a group called Tank of the Bangers?
I can't say.
Okay,
I
they're from New Orleans. They're crazy. You need to just Google them. That's all I'm going to say. Amazing. And they came into the Right House my night. That's how I know them.
Right.
They won Tiny Desk one year.
Okay.
And Tank, the lead singer, she was wearing some of my clothes, and Layla Hathaway saw it, and I ended up making some harems for Layla Hathaway as well, and just some other friends and stuff. It's just been an adventure. I make kimonos, and I make harems, and if we fast forward after that, the house at Ellen, I just decided to make the uniform.
Just kit them all out and
yeah. And it's been
so cool.
I know. Don't think I'm doing that for
it's
you.
crazy, right? I can't even. I don't. Was I terrified? Yes. Are they gonna like it? Oh my God, do they hate it? How come they haven't posted the picture yet? You know, all the stuff that goes through your head. That's the truth of it.
Cool.
It's been a roller coaster with that one. You know,
I think it leads back to what we were talking about before. You know, why not just give it a go and see what happens?
Yeah.
You know, we bought a sewing machine. I see it a little bit. I don't know if this is the case because I know nothing about it, but I see it a little bit as if you're a bit low on money and you want to buy some food, then why not if you have a garden, why not buy the seeds and see what grows, you know?
Yeah.
And you never know what's going to come out of that. So,
100%.
Well, that is very philosophical.
well, you know, you don't just get, you know, ridiculously bad puns with me, do you?
You go deep, don't you, mate? You go deep. Yeah, but mate, what a thing to pick up during lockdown. Because I mean, a lot of musicians. Really, a lot of musicians kind of took on jobs and stuff. I mean, I know I just sat at home playing Football Manager for months. Yeah, it was such a great period of time.
You had quite good success with that, though, didn't you?
Yeah, we won't go into my career on Football Manager, but I mean, what a great thing to sort of pick up and do, you know, because it's still creative. And it's still within your own control of like how much you want to do.
Yeah.
If I want to push this, I can push it. If I don't, I don't have to. You know? But to then get picked up and then getting orders for America, like that's insane.
That is pretty crazy.
Mad, isn't it?
That's
I can't
really
even.
mad. Yeah.
God's good, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So going back to your music stuff. So also I had a look at some of the people you worked with.
Yeah.
And
I'll just say this is crazy.
This is pretty mad. Yeah. So you've worked with Will.i.am. Trevor Horn, Marcus Fahili, is that his name? Eternal, Pharrell Williams, Westlife, Jamelia, Boy George, Tom Jones, Bobby McFerrin, Rita Ora, and Jessie J. Now, that is a bit of a current who's who of artists.
Just a few, yeah.
Like,
just the odd one.
Did a lot of that come from your connection with Will.i.am, or did it sort of just happen? Or I'd say just happen. Nothing just happens, but did you work your way into them positions, and then all of a sudden you're getting linked with this person and doing BVs for that person? How did all them gigs come about?
Honestly, a lot of it was before The Voice.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. I suppose it starts off as Jazz. We're doing. We've got a gig. They're trying to get a choir together, and you're going to be doing 4 sets at Selfridges or something like that. And then you do the gig, and then you meet someone that's like, oh, that guy Jazz was really cool, And then they do a gig, and like they needed someone. They call me in, and then you meet that person. Then you meet that person, and all of a sudden you're working with someone that that puts all the gigs together, and they're like, oh, Jazz is really cool to work with. And it kind of almost like a domino effect.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how most of them came about, but it's definitely from, cover for this person, so then you meet the other people that you're covering for, and then like, oh, Jazz, I forgot something that comes up when they call you, and a domino from there, I suppose. Do you know what I mean?
Was it mainly through like networking with people? Like, because I know a lot of people now, they sort of go into like the jam nights and stuff, like in town, like particularly like Soho. What's that well-known one everyone goes to?
Trevor.
Yeah, Troy Bar.
Yeah, everyone goes there. It's like the place to be seen. Do you know what I mean? Did you do that much like of that stuff?
No, I didn't. I didn't do much open mics, to be honest. I think that it was doing like group sessions, like a choir session, and then you kind of get asked to do a lead part, and then people kind of know who you are through because they've heard you sing or something like that. It was more, I would say it's more that route, but you can, at places like Troy Bar where a lot of people go down there to jam, like a lot of celebrities go down there as well. Where's another place? Oh, Vibe Village is the freshest thing. Everyone needs to check out Vibe Village.
Village. Where's the
Vibe Village, man? That is my good friend Matthew Allen runs it, and it's definitely, if you want to be exposed to the industry, but also to the heart of music and the heart of creativity and everybody, just getting together and just having lots and lots of fun. Yeah, Vibe Village is definitely a place to hit up.
Because I feel
it's
like
the new,
Just going back to some of these names that you've worked with, were they kind of gigs, or were they recordings, or?
Okay, so remember I said it was before The Voice and stuff. So a lot of them were BVs, backing vocals. Yeah. Off the list, Rita was definitely backing vocals. Trevor Horn backing vocals.
I mean, Trevor Horn, like that's a big name, isn't it? That is a big name to drop. Yeah. And what was that recording?
No, he was. I think he was touring his catalog. So he's worked with some amazing artists.
Yeah.
So he'd call singers like me and myself in. Kirsten Dre, insane vocalist. Goodness gracious. Kirsten Dre in, some other singers and stuff, and we'd sing their the songs that he made. You know what I mean? So a bit of the Buggles stuff, some of Seal stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some Grace Jones stuff. Do you know what I mean?
It's funny. He's one of those people that you forget as well. Like I forgot about the stuff.
And he's so down to earth. He's so cool, man. He's just cool.
Really
nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah, just like Guy Chambers. He's another one I've worked with. Like he's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. And
that's always good to hear, isn't it?
Yeah. They say don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Do.
But you have, yeah.
That 2% out of the 100 that's just awful people, but I haven't met an awful hero yet, thank God.
That's good.
So,
that's good.
Yeah.
Nor have I actually. Not that I've met many, but nor have I saying that. So
yeah. I mean, I've met a few like people. I think the one that always stands out to me is Mel C.
She's nice. Cool.
Really nice, yeah. Like, so me and Katie did a gig for, I think it was the Teenage Cancer Trust years ago at the Groucho Club, And I think at the time Dynamo was quite big in The Magician. He was there. Rufus Hound was hosting it. And Mel C was playing before us or after us, I can't remember. But I remember like we did a sound check. It was only doing like 2 songs acoustically. We did a sound check and then Mel C arrived and I just went, oh my God, that's Mel C. You know, I mean, like growing up, the Spice Girls were...
They were huge. They were biggest together.
The Spice Girls, yeah.
Yeah, and so she come over and she was just like, how you doing? You know, you sounded really good. You know, she was really personable, like really asking about taking an interest in what you was doing. And that was all cool. But the main thing that got me right is when she took her like hoodie off and it was the tattoo on her arm. You know, that is so recognisable. And when I saw that tattoo, I was like a little bit starstruck then. It was really, I was like, oh God, it's really her. It's really her. But yeah, it's just really nice to speak to. Really.
Yeah, I found that the majority of the people. I mean, like I say, it's not as many people as you work with and all that stuff. But the majority of people I have worked with who have been either in the limelight years ago or now, they've always been. I don't think there's any exception. I think they've always been really, really nice people.
That's a blessing when it's like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm very lucky in that sense, you know. And I think I must admit, most people you speak to say the same. I've noticed. I mean, there's always the odd horror story, but
yeah. Have you had any of those?
None. Well, hold on. No, thank God.
Oh, really? Okay. Right. I was expecting like
Thank
a
God.
real big... Like,
no, I haven't.
See you going through the archive going, nope.
Yeah, that's just... I did have a mad situation when we did the Lauryn Hill thing. Oh my gosh.
That's right, actually, you opened for Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, imagine that, man. That was after The Voice. And we... it wasn't called the House at Ellington at the time. It was just under my name.
Right.
But it was the house. And it was at the time we had a residency at the Dover Street Arts Club. And they put us forward to open for her. And that was amazing. And come on, I'll tell you the truth. So we walk in for our sound check. And, you know, Lauren's up there with her band. And I'm just like, yo, that's Lauryn Hill, man. And I'm trying to pull it together because we got a real problem here. Jazz, do not act the fool. Do not act the fool right now. And she came over to me and she said, hello, how are you? And I kind of just went, that's all I did.
You just prayed at her.
So embarrassing. Probably the most embarrassing, like, Jazz, you do not know how to act. What is wrong with you? You could have said anything. Can I get a picture? Oh my God, you're the reason why I sing. She is. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill, man, that blew my head. Like, you know, Miss Hill standing before you. Like, I can't tell you what Sister Act 2 did for me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In terms of, I'm sure people got the same testimony because Lauryn Hill has definitely been a massive, massive influence in terms of my creativity and even the fact that I run choirs and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? Like, when I was younger, watching Whoopi Goldberg and stuff, that was my accent. And being in church and, you know, and going through it myself and stuff and being a choir director and a vocal arranger and stuff like that. It's Lauryn Hill, that was a big deal, man. And that's my little embarrassing story that I did.
But to be fair, I mean, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I think, you know...
We've all got that one person, right?
Yeah, I'll probably say like meeting Paul McCartney or someone. He's just
man.
Yeah, I think it'd be Marcus Miller. I think it'd be Marcus Miller for me.
Marcus Miller?
Yeah, because, I mean, come on. I've spent my life trying to sound like him. And unsuccessfully so, but, you know. But I'd just be like, dude, you don't know what my whole career is down to.
Certain people are just like, what do I say to you? You know, what do I ask you?
100%,
so when you got asked to do that, was you doing your own material at that point, or was it covers? Or
so, although like, you know, the house has always kind of done, we do covers and stuff like that, like other bands. We kind of play a little bit left, a lot left, actually. And I would always add like some original stuff in there. And over the years, some of the original stuff we'd done, people thought, where can I hear that song? There's a song in particular called Susie that I wrote with Mark Morrison. Not Return of the Mark Morrison.
I was going to say, just name dropping now.
Start faint on the sofa.
Not Return of the Mark Morrison. Keys player, amazing guy. And we used to just gig it, like, and it would come on and people would start dancing. You know, like there's normally the floor clearers when it's an original song because they don't know it.
Yeah.
But I think because of the style of the song, people felt like they knew it.
Yeah.
And so like, people come up to us and like, oh, who's that song by? Because we can't find it on Spotify. Oh, it's not out yet. It's a Jaz Ellington song. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, telling me he needs to release it and record it like immediately. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, we play it a little bit left. Do you know what I mean?
Just to keep it fresh.
Yeah. Otherwise, it feels like Groundhog Day sometimes.
Yeah, no, I do feel you on that
You
one.
feel me? Yes.
Yeah.
Even when I'm on the cruise ships, sorry, even on the cruise ships, I add Susie and another another original song, just so I can stay sane.
Yeah.
And feel like I'm holding on to some bit of originality and creativity, because I think when that goes, I think that's when it's a wrap.
Yeah,
For me,
that's one of the things I really liked, because me and Phil met 2 years ago, something like that, and I just stepped on a gig. But one of the things I really liked about it was the fact that you liked us to play things in our own way, which
I think you have to. Like, I think if
like,
you're
make
in
it more interesting.
I think if you're doing like in a function band, and you're doing gigs week in, week out, the same material more or less, like you have to have fun with it as best as you can, because otherwise you would go stir crazy and you won't enjoy it, you know. And as much as I do at times think, I can't be bothered to do this, you know, which is a fact of life. You know, you do get bored with certain elements of it. But I think if you was to then sort of take away any creativity of what you're playing, then it would just kill it stone dead.
Yeah, man.
And I think that's why, like, you know, and I have depth for bands who have all been sort of similar. You know, you play, as long as you know how to play the song, put your own stamp on it, as long as it's not outrageous and you don't recognise the track. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at you, Henry.
Everyone loves the slap bass solo. I'm just saying.
No, they do, mate. But if you don't do that, then yeah, I don't know. I'd have given up years ago. But that's why I can't get my head around them like certain bands. I mean, obviously it works for them, each to their own. But then bands that are like, these are the charts. These are like, you know, we play to backing tracks, and it's like, well, that's great because it must sound great, but there's no like spontaneity with it. So like, if I just take a solo, if I'm playing to a click track or a backing track,
you're governed by it.
I can't vibe this for another 5 minutes and really milk it with the audience who are absolutely loving it, because we've got to stick to the track.
One of the ones I really like is when you got like an MD on talkback, like you know, like with the gospel stuff, and it's just like, and you're like, and they're giving it to you, and they're like, come on, you're gonna go ham on this bit, right? Go on, bass player, and you're like, oh yeah,
yeah. Jerome, Jerome with the mic. Sometimes we're just laughing our head off because he says something, but he's always that guy saying something crazy on the talkback.
But it makes it so much fun, doesn't it?
Oh man,
it really does.
Yeah.
But Jerome's great, man. He's
absolutely.
He's such a good keys player.
King Jerome.
Yeah.
So cozy.
Have you got any sort of other goals that you want to you're trying to set yourself?
Got ya.
In the next sort of few years, or?
You know what? I've always said I want to do a Bond song.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
And it seems so far, like nowhere near it, but I've always said I've always wanted to do a Bond song. And I've always wanted to sing the American anthem at an event. I don't know why the American anthem. Maybe it's a thing, because it is a thing.
Yeah.
For musicians and artists and stuff. I know all the words.
You're ready to go.
Say it.
Just saying.
Just put it out there. Like,
Yeah.
Be cool. No.
Have you got a favourite Bond song?
I love Skyfall. You know.
It is a real good tune. Yeah.
It is a good one.
Yeah, probably Skyfall. Yeah, I it's a thing, because you know the opening song is it's what we do over here. Do you know what I mean? And I definitely that would be a dream to do that. I would love to. I would love to open for D'Angelo.
Amazing. Okay.
I'd love to do anything for D'Angelo. Like, I'll be a BV. I can carry your backpack. D'Angelo is by far my favorite artist. Like,
I got into him through Pino, bass player Pino Palladino.
Oh yeah,
that was my introduction, and Pino is You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's your prey moment, isn't he, mate?
Yeah, like I met. I was lucky enough to do a thing with Paul Young a few years ago, and I remember him turning up. And the first thing was he had a Bruce Springsteen T-shirt on, which was cool. Anyway, but I remember saying to him, I was playing. I've got what the song's called now. It's the one off the same album of. Me and names is terrible. I would sing it, but it would absolutely ruin this podcast if I did.
Go on, mate, drop it.
I can't even remember. It's got a lovely fretless bass line on it, but it's not Wherever I Lay My Hat, but it was on the same album.
Okay.
And I remember saying to him, like, I'm playing a Pinot track. This is like, I am Pinot today. Like, this is amazing. I mean, I'm significantly shorter. I might add, and I'm not Welsh, so like, you know, but everything else, I'm there. And I remember, like, after we finished playing it, and he looked over and he was like, "You nailed it, mate." And I was just like, "Oh,
sweet.
I love you."
Compliments, yeah. So I think we're sort of coming to the end of our time with you now, mate. But have you got any? What sort of advice would you give yourself? Any advice if you could look back, say 10 years ago, and say, "Jaz, you need to do this," or have you been sort of quite happy with how things have been up to this point?
If I was to look back about 10 years, I would have just come off The Voice, I think. It's been that long, imagine that.
You packed a lot into 10 years, to be fair.
Yeah.
I know, we did. Yeah, for real. My advice to myself would be to trust myself a bit more than I did. Trust my gut instincts. Because I remember coming off the show, when I was with the management that I was with, a lot of them was just like throwing, almost force feeding the route of what an artist coming off those kind of platforms would take. Like, do this track, do this pop track, do this dance track, do this, try that. I found myself doing a 360, like just going all the way back to my being myself. Do you know what I mean? And I write songs from my heart, you know what I mean? In terms of like, I've always referred to music as my audible diary. When I do my writing and stuff, like it's always normally of an experience of mine. Do you know what I'm saying? Something happened, or someone told me something funny and I wrote something about it, or there's a connection about it. And I would think when I say that, I mean literally I'll just be, Jaz, just do what, I don't want to say just Jaz, do what you want to do. Do you know what I mean? But know yourself and be comfortable knowing yourself. You're gonna have a lot of people that have ill will towards you, people that love you, and are saying everything in, best and good intentions and stuff like that. But the best, just go with yourself and don't be worried to make a mistake because you've gone with yourself. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all a part of it. I feel like I'd be a bit more bolder earlier, my confidence and stuff like that, just not feeling good enough. And when you listen to a lot of things that people say and stuff around you, I mean, I've gone through, it's been an amazing 10 years, going on 11, 12 since the show and stuff like that. But it was also quite heartbreaking as well. It's quite hard in terms of your creative and your artistry. You feel like you take a step back from it. People are calling you to sing ordinary people that really just stopped. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But now I get called to just do songs that are already out. And I really want to get into the position of not just do my own stuff, but allow my stuff to take the center stage. Do you know what I mean? It's been tough. You know what I mean? In fact, the toughest thing I've ever heard, I'm going to say this. I've got a good friend that's an A&R. Now, this person loves me. He loves me, got nothing but love for me. And he sat me down and he told me that basically, a brief went around the record label, I won't say which one, for me in terms of like, how they saw me and stuff. And they had it on there as like a CeeLo Green kind of thing. And obviously I get it, big and black, let's call it what it is, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't know what to do with me. He said to me, Jaz, I'm going to be honest with you, because he's seen it and had the conversations. They know, and they acknowledge you as being really amazing and like, one of the groundbreaking male artists in the country and stuff, but they also see you as a wild card. Do you know what I mean? And in effect, some of them They have not ever said it like that, but they are looking for the white version of you. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That was heartbreaking because there's nothing I can do about that. Do you know what I'm saying? But I understood everything he said, and I understood the position of the record company and why they would be like that. Do you know what I mean? It took me a while to get there, don't get me wrong. But
must have been, I mean, I can't imagine what that's like, obviously, but it must be, did you feel a lot of anger at that time or resentment?
it was awful. It was like, it was a tough one because obviously I know you're telling me that for the truth, just so you know. It's better that you say, Jazz, you're too fat. Call it what it is, like, you're too big, you're round.
Right.
Or Jazz, or your songs,
because you can do something about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do anything about that one. And the reason why they're looking for that is because it sells more. In this country, you have to look at who's buying music, who's actually who was, you know what I mean? What is selling? Do you know what I mean? If I looks like One Direction or something like that, and I'm singing the same way I'm doing, which I don't believe I would be here. I believe everything would be open and available to me, if I'm being honest. But the fact that it's something that I can't work on or change or anything like that, that's quite difficult pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's over the years, I've only just started talking about it. Do you know what I mean? I posted something the other day, like maybe last year or something like that. Because what's hard is that people go, Jazz, what's happening? Yeah. We're really big fans and stuff like that. And they say all the most lovely things. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you because it looks like, I can understand why you don't get it because in your world, you've had this effect. Why aren't you here? You sound like this and other people don't sound like that. Why are you struggling? Like, why won't, well, it looks like they won't give you a chance and stuff. And some of them I've actually just had to say, listen, I got massive love for the love that you show me, but sometimes when you send the messages, it kind of sends me into a spin, a spiral on that day. Do you know what I mean? That's quite hard to swallow as a pill. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's quite difficult. And so like you kind of have to just, with love, explain to them, this is how it works. Do you know what I mean? And that's my portion at the moment. Do you know what I mean? And is there anything I can do about it? Maybe one day someone will come and see me for who I am. You never know. That's not me giving up hope or faith.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm still believing. I'm still going to push forward no matter what. I'm going to write an album, guys.
Yeah.
Writing an album, I'm writing it. I'm going to pull it out and it's going to be my work. I'm going to be completely happy with all of it from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And it's going to be something that's going to be a big achievement for me. I don't know what it looks like, what it smells like, but it's going to be real. It's going to be real.
It's the best thing it can be is real.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like going back to your question, Phil, like, you know, if I was to speak to myself, my 10 years ago self, I would also say like, you know, you're going to get some knockbacks, you know what I mean? And just keep your head up and keep going no matter what it looks like. And it's going to get tough. It's going to get tough, you know what I mean? It's going to look like all of this was for nothing, but you just keep going because guess what? Even if it's 5 people that love what you do, then let those 5 people be continue to be blessed by what you will continue to do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's my stance. That's my honest stance. That's the honest truth, yeah.
Yeah, no, good. That's. I mean, I think whatever you do, man, just do it for you. Ultimately, do it for you because you
have to.
Being unashamedly is my
exactly. Because anything, like you said, if people like it, great, you know. But ultimately, writing music, writing your own album, it's all for you. You know, don't think about how this is going to impact other people because it's got to come from you first. And if people like it, they'll jump on board with it. You know, because like for me personally, I 100% believe that you're one of the best male artists and vocalists out there.
Oh, bro, thank you.
I really do.
Phil was showing me some of your stuff.
Yeah,
you know, and
I'm not
I was
just
pretty blown away, to be honest. I mean,
I'm not just sort of saying it because you're here, but I do genuinely, and there's not many in your bracket for me. So,
thanks, bro.
With all being said, and all we've talked about, I've got to say thank you so much for being here, man, because it's been a real pleasure.
Thank you, honestly.
Really nice conversation, man. You guys are great. This is amazing. Amazing. Keep going, please.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've really, really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Me too, man.
Last thing to say, where can people find you on your socials?
I am at Jaz Ellington on everything. 1Z, JazEllington.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Okay, well, that concludes today's Jam Spot podcast. It's been a good one.
It's been amazing. It's been eye-opening. I think
really good.
Really eye-opening. Very, very interesting. We could have talked for days, I think.
Yeah,
well,
so much to cover. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for watching and listening, and we'll be back with another one soon. Bye.
Thank you very much.